Hi, so today we'll be looking at some important terms that we'll be using in organic chemistry. So the first one is to look at the different types of organic reactions. And understanding the different types of organic reactions is very important because it makes life much easier for you in the future. You don't need to memorize a lot of things, you just need to think logically what it is all about. So let's look at this table over here, types of organic reactions, and we see words like this: substitution, combustion, oxidation, addition, reduction, hydrolysis, and condensation. So there are some words over here that you already know. So oxidation, we know that oxidation means gain oxygen, right? Or lose hydrogen. So that's one thing that you know. Reduction, you know that's lose oxygen. Okay, substitution. Let's talk about substitution. Substitution is, like when you are talking about sports game, where you are substituting someone, one person go in, one person must come out. So that's a substitution. So one must go in, one must come out. So let's look at all these reactions over here. Which of these reactions look like one person went in and the other person went out? So if you look at it, look at the second one over here. Over here, I have one bromine atom which is substituting one hydrogen atom. So the bromine went in and the hydrogen went out. So this is a substitution reaction. And the reason why we have substitution reaction is because there is no space. Like in a sports game, let's say soccer, a maximum of 11 players at one time. And if we want one player to go in, one player has to come out because there's no space to put in 12 players. Okay, so that's the first one, substitution. So let's look at the next word, combustion. Combustion, we all know, is a reaction with oxygen with heat. So let's look at that. Which one react with oxygen and heat? So we can look at the fourth one. We got this one. This is combustion. So in organic chemistry, at O levels, most organic compounds will combust to form carbon dioxide and water. Okay, that's something you need to remember. Alkanes, alkenes, alcohols, and carboxylic acids, they combust to form carbon dioxide and water only. Okay, now let's look at something else, addition. So addition is like I have 1 plus 1 give me 2, right? So it's like I take something and I add it directly in. And why can I add in? So let's say, for example, in a soccer game, maximum is 11 players, right? I have 10 players. Do I have space to add in one more player? Yes, I got space. So let's look at a substance that seems to be adding something else in. And what do I see is the first option. You see this Br. It seems to add in here because this one seems to have space right over here. So this is the addition reaction. And addition reaction can only take place when there is space, when it is not full. Okay, it can only take place when the organic substance is not full. I'll talk about the word full later. Okay, let's look at hydrolysis. Hydrolysis means that I add water to break. That is what hydrolysis means. Add water to break. Let's take a look. Add water to break. Okay, immediately you see add water to break. Two things over here. Add water to break. So this is a hydrolysis. And then one word that all of you all should know is condensation. Condensation means is joined together to form water. Okay, two things joined together, condense together, and then water comes out. So let's take a look. Anything that looks like that, yeah, over here. So I add two things together, right? And then water comes out. So this is considered a condensation reaction. Adding two things together and water comes out. Condensation. Right? What else we have? Cracking. So logically, when we think of the word cracking, we think of breaking. So over here, one thing that we have broken is this guy over here, the third one. So we have a big hydrocarbon here and it breaks up. So this is cracking. And then finally, we have left oxidation and reduction. So let's look at the last two. So let's look at this one here. I have 2 oxygen here. Now I have 1 oxygen. So the number of oxygen reduced. So this is a reduction. Over here, I have one oxygen. This is a alcohol. This is a carboxylic acid, has two oxygen. Realize the number of carbons remain the same, but the number of oxygens increase, so that is a oxidation. So these are all the chemical reactions that you need to know for organic chemistry, and a lot of them can be rationalized like this. Okay, so let's take a look at other words. So let's look at these three terms: molecular formula, structure formula, and full structural formula. So the one on the left, this is called the full structural formula, which shows all of the bonds and all of the atoms present. Okay, this is very useful. You should use this all the time. Right? Sometimes they can ask you for structural formula, which basically the important thing about structural formula is that it must show the functional group. If it shows the functional group, then it is useful because it tells you what's the structure like. The last one, which you must remember, let's put exclamation marks here, is molecular formula. Molecular formula, you can say, is one of the less useful formulas because it only tells you how many atoms and number are there inside the molecule. So, full structural, most useful. Structural, useful still. Right? Molecular formula, not so useful. Okay? Now, just now, remember we talked about substituting and adding. And when you add, it cannot be full. So now we'll use the word saturated and unsaturated. If your brain is saturated, you cannot put anything else in. So saturated means full, and unsaturated means not full. So if you look at this one over here, we have something that is not full. So this is unsaturated, because you see there are spaces below. And then the one on the right here, this is saturated. And this is a hydrocarbon. So the word hydrocarbon means that there's only hydrogen and carbon. But if you look at B, there is bromine. So this is not a hydrocarbon. Okay? So I hope you will go and remember all of these different terms, and that will help you in understanding organic chemistry better. Okay, all the best. Bye. 3, 2, 1.